By the authority vested in me, I hereby declare this meeting of the Conshohocken Borough Council duly open and ready to conduct any business that may come before it. Prior to our regularly scheduled meeting this evening, Borough Council held a special public meeting for the fiscal year 2022 budget presentation at 6 p.m. The first item under presentations this evening is conducting interviews for board and commission reappointments. The first person to be interviewed is Deb Stovall for the Human Relations Commission. Deb, if you'd like to come up, please. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to see everybody again.
Thank you.
And good luck to all the winners yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It's good to see you here in public this evening also.
Thank you.
So, Deb, what do you believe are the three greatest strengths in the borough of Conshohocken?
The three greatest strengths is devotion or commitment, a love of people, and a love of the borough.
Thank you. Great answer. Anyone on council have questions for Ms. Stovall?
Deb, why do you want to continue serving as the Human Relations Council or for any of our committees?
I feel personally, I think that everyone should have a commitment to serve and to give back to their community, no matter what it is. I know that the Human Relations Commission is seeking fairness regardless of race, age, gender, orientation, whatever that is. And so if I can contribute to that in any way, then I would want to do that. I work for Montgomery County Courthouse, at the courthouse. For the past several years, I've been on their Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity Committee. So I've learned a lot, and I just want to contribute whatever I can to our community. I was born and raised here, and I still live here.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been working with Toraya?
Excuse me?
You've been working with Toraya?
I don't recognize that name.
She's part of the diversity committee.
Yeah, well, she might have came on after I left. I just
Oh, okay.
recently left.
Okay. All right.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
if you could make one change or one improvement for Conshohocken, what would that be?
Boy, that's a loaded question. If I could make, I would hope that people would know how blessed Conshohocken is. It's a blessed town when all the other communities around us have not been able to come back after the 60s and 70s when all the factories and everything closed. But somehow, some way, Conshohocken has always persevered, and there's been people here who actually were so devoted and loved this town. And so we were able to survive and come back and build up. So I just wish people would know that this is a blessed town and that they would just respect the town and respect their neighbors and just the community as a whole.
Okay.
Well said, thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Anyone else on council have a question? No? Deb, thank you so much for coming in this evening, and thank you for your interest in serving again on the Human Relations Committee. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Everybody
welcome.
have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is interviewing Dominic Rocco for the EAC. Good evening, Dominic. If you could come up to the mic for us this evening.
Excuse me, where's your tuxedo?
It's underneath the sweater.
Okay, thanks for coming in, Dominic. I'm going to start with asking, what do you believe is the most single compelling issue facing the borough of Conshohocken?
From an environmental standpoint?
Just from in general, could be anything. And you may answer with environmental, but
The single most compelling issue facing.
That you believe is facing the borough.
Okay, well, I'm going to take it from an environmental standpoint.
Sure.
I think the single most compelling, at least from an environmental standpoint, is just educating our residents in environmental matters, whether it has to do with air, whether it has to do with water, whether it has to do with anything environmentally related, especially climate change, which is a, and that's something that we've really tried to do with the EAC over the last several years. So to me, that's, I think, one of our main things that we try to do with the EAC.
It's a perfect answer, thank you. Anyone else on council have a question for Dominic?
Yeah, do you see us planting more trees?
Planting more trees, definitely. I mean, we just have to find the right places to put them.
Right.
And one of the things we're also trying to do is use them as a tool to educate people so they know more about the trees. So we want to try to put signage up, things that are more interpretive, so they understand, you know, the differences between trees, the difference of how to care for trees, how to take care of their own trees on their property, things of that nature.
Yes.
Dominic, can you remind us, how long have you been on the EAC?
Trick question.
I think it's been since 2018.
Been a while, yeah.
Yeah, a couple years, 3 years, give or take.
Okay. And what is your most proud accomplishment as an EAC member?
Oh, boy. Most proud accomplishment. Well, you know, I don't think it's one single accomplishment. I think it's when we get to do these different events and we get to see how much the children are engaged in environmental issues. Like, we'll have an event where they have to give us information about recycling or about painting rain barrels or whatever it might be. They're usually the ones who are most engaged. Where we have the most trouble, unfortunately, is more so with the adults. So we really have to reach them, and hopefully we can reach them through their children. But so I think it's a bunch of mini successes. I don't think it's one big success that we've had with the EAC.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Would you like to see residents using more of the rain barrels?
So we kind of, because one of the things, our challenges with the EAC is that we were doing a lot. So we kind of took a step back with the rain barrels. We haven't really been pushing them as much. We've been trying to focus more on the trees, on the cleanups, on the green business recognition program. We're still trying to get that off the ground. So we want to try to make sure we get specific things done instead of having a bunch of things unfinished. So that's been one of the main things we've been trying to focus on this year after the pandemic.
Thanks.
Anyone else on council have a question for Dominic? No? So with that, Dominic, I will say thank you again for coming in this
Okay.
evening. Thank you for all of your dedication and time to the EAC. It is truly appreciated by all of us, and you do a wonderful job. And I will add that all of your small accomplishments are one huge accomplishment. So thank you very much.
And I'll just take a second, thank you for that, is that without the Friends of the Green Conchi or EAC, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do.
Right.
So it's more than just the members of the EAC, it's all the folks that are in the community, and when they come out to our events, and when they support the different things that we have going on, without that, there wouldn't be any trees planted, there wouldn't be any things going on.
Right,
So,
right.
so to anyone out there who's listening, out here listening, we thank you for that. So, okay,
Thank you.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
The next item on the agenda is manager matters. Ms. Checo?
Thank you, President Leonard. The first item is to consider approving Resolution 2021-29, which extends temporary to-go parking restrictions within the borough. If you recall, we placed 3 15-minute to-go parking spaces on Fayette Street between East 2nd Avenue and East 3rd Avenue by resolution. We placed 4 15-minute to-go orders, only parking spaces on Fayette Street between East 1st and East 2nd Avenue by resolution, and then 1 15-minute to-go orders, only parking space on East 1st Avenue by resolution. Those resolutions and those parking spaces were reevaluated over the course of this temporary period by the parking task force, which is made up of residents and business owners in Conshohocken. At the October meeting of the parking task force, they made a motion to recommend those parking spaces becoming permanent parking spaces. So we need to extend the temporary resolutions so that we have the time period to revise the ordinance, advertise the ordinance, and make the changes. So this evening, what's in front of you is to approve Resolution 2021-29, which extends those temporary to-go parking restrictions. And then we'll have back in front of you at a later date the actual revised ordinance with the specific recommendation from the parking task force.
So I know we have some business owners on the parking task force. Has there been feedback by the other business owners in that district, either positive or negative, related to the to-go parking?
Yes, so the administration has received only positive feedback. The main topic that when discussing it, is that kind of the business model has changed. It changed during the pandemic, and it doesn't seem to be changing back. So they've built into their business model this concept that there's always going to be to-go food. So they're asking us to kind of change with them so that we are supporting their business success. That's been the message that we've received, that the parking task force kind of discussed at length at their last meeting. So again, we need kind of an extended time period to make those recommendations permanent. So if you're inclined, the motion would be to approve the resolution. Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is a fee waiver request from the Angioma Alliance. We have a resident who would like to host a fundraiser for the Angioma Alliance on Saturday, September 24th, 2022, from 3 p.m. until 7 p.m. Her daughter is 19 months old. She's diagnosed with a rare vascular neurology disease, has already had one brain surgery. Surgery is the only option in terms of treatment at this point. The Angioma Alliance is hopeful for a cure that needs the funds to do so. So there will be a band, there will be potentially a food truck, they will sell tickets to the event. 100% of the proceeds will go to Angioma Alliance. Lauren has worked directly with the resident. The resident has been extremely proactive and wonderful in terms of we don't get many people who plan that far in advance, so it's very much appreciated. But we've discussed kind of application. She's worked with Lauren directly in terms of what will work but what will not work. So we are supporting this initiative, and we're asking council to consider approving the fee waiver request for the fundraiser.
I'll make the motion to approve the fee waiver for the Angioma Alliance.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The location will be at Summer.
Okay. All opposed? Motion carries.
The last item is authorizing an extension for the 2018 CDBG program request for a time extension. So the CDBG contracts are 4 years. All activities have to be completed and funds expended within 3 years. The final year is for an audit. So the 2018 CDBG funds, the deadline is December 19th, 2021. We have about $19,000 remaining in the account. The reason why we have around $19,000 is remaining is because we had the rehab program slowed slightly due to COVID. So we are requesting that the CDBG program allow the borough to have a 6-month extension in order to expend those funds. Ms. Stetler has those funds earmarked. It will not take 6 months to expend them.
Right.
We just need extra time past that December 19th date. In order to submit the time extension, though we do need council's approval. So this evening is a motion to authorize request for an extension of the 2018 CBD contract for the purpose of expending all housing rehab funds.
Then I'll make that motion to approve.
Can you second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Checo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is council member and mayor matters. We'll start with Mayor Aronson.
Thank you, President Leonard, and it's great to be back with everybody in person. First off, I do want to thank all of our residents for coming out to vote yesterday, and I do want to give an especially big thank you to all of our candidates who ran for office. Win or lose, you've all served our community, so thank you. As far as our community events, the Halloween parade saw a bit of rain, but also tremendous participation, both human and pets. Our council members judged the costume contest, and I joined our Dog Park Advisory Council to judge pet costumes. Big thank you to Kate Cosman and our administrative team for organizing this annual event. And then finally, we how Real Estate had their annual pumpkin carving event last week. Sarah and I joined their staff to carve pumpkins, and you can see all of our beautiful works displayed at the Leland Mansion. So drive by before they have to take them down. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Aronson. Ms. Barton?
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to all those that volunteered to help with voting. It is a long and tedious day, even more so for them than it is for us. And just a big thank you to the residents who came out and made their voices heard.
Thank you, Anita. Tina?
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Kathleen?
Yeah, I would just like to say how much fun I had my first judging of the Halloween parade. It was a little bit,
Daunting?
about the Halloween parade. It was a little bit disorganized because of the rain, and condolences to all the people who didn't get a prize, but everybody was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ike?
I don't have anything tonight.
I
Okay.
don't have anything this evening either, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we will go to public comment. Is there anyone this evening for public comment? If you could come up and state your name and address.
Evening. Mike Maycoid, 112 West 9th Avenue, and as of yesterday, Republican candidate for mayor. You may have seen me around. First, I'd like to thank council for reconvening in person here. I think this is important. I think it's great. I mean, a step toward normalcy away from Zoom. I think it's long past time to do it, and I think it's just really important to see people's faces instead of virtual images on a screen, because I can tell you I work every day, and that's pretty much my existence, looking at virtual people, camera on, camera off, you're not quite sure. So it's just great to see people in person again. And really, just wanted to come up and just take this opportunity to congratulate Mayor Aronson. So when we spoke this morning, I told him he has my full support as a resident of the borough. He earned his re-election through a hard-fought campaign, and neither he nor I ran as adversaries. That is, we just two people that saw things a little bit differently. So he had his perspective, I had mine. And if anything, I think our race demonstrated that politics doesn't need to be the blood sport that it's become in this country. So especially in the highly politicized environment that we live. And some of you may know my wife is a Democrat. So we have some contentious things in my house right now. When considering to run, people said to me, if you can live in the same house over the past 6-7 years with a person in the opposite party, that 1, killing each other, 2, divorcing each other, 3, blowing the roof off, you're a centrist, you're a normal person. It's probably a good thing you run. But really, Yaniv, just wanted to congratulate you, just say, thank you for a great race. You earned it. It was hard-won. Look forward to seeing you and Sarah at events over the next 4 years. So.
Thank you, Mr. Maycoid. Any other public comment this evening? Can you just come up and state your name and address, please?
Hi, my name is Diane Pacone. I live at 821 Harry Street. It's a 12-unit condominium complex.
Yes.
So it's a small one. It used to be the firehouse. So this is a question, and it might, I don't know if it's appropriate for this, but I had to
Fine.
come. Okay, we have this thing called a backflow preventer.
Yes.
Water comes, like clean water comes in, and I guess it's a way so that bad water doesn't flow back for where you get the good water. every couple of years, we have to replace it, and there's this company called Keystone that does like fire stuff, but they also do plumbing stuff, and they come. And they have said that it's because of sediment in the water, and that like the water has to be flushed. So I just wanted to know if anyone else in Conshohocken has had this kind of thing.
Well, many businesses in Conshohocken
Yeah.
have backflow preventions.
Okay.
It's a requirement,
Okay,
and they all annually have to get inspected.
okay.
I personally have two.
Oh, okay.
They've never had to be replaced because of sediment.
Okay.
I don't know, Stephanie, have you ever had any concerns from any of the residents because of that?
No.
Okay, so my suggestion would be, you know your form that you get for a backflow prevention for the testing.
Okay,
On the back of it,
yeah,
it lists companies that all do backflow prevention testing.
okay,
I would try another company
okay, yeah.
and see how that works out for you.
Okay, so individual homes have backflows as well?
No.
No, okay.
Just
building.
businesses,
Okay, gotcha.
yes.
Okay, and they require annual inspection, so someone is annually inspecting
Annual
ours,
inspection every year.
and they
yes.
must give me something.
Yes,
that-
whoever comes out to inspect will
Right.
give you a report, and then they will send it off to the state to be
Okay.
filed. And
Okay.
if there's something wrong with it, they will tell you that. At the time of inspection, you will have to make those repairs before they will give you your certification.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm impressed I knew that. Okay, anyone else for public comment? Okay, with that, we will say meeting adjourned. Thank you.